Next phase of this is an actual rack card design, designed by you. I'm going to give you all of the material for it. I'm going to give you all of the text. I'm going to give you the images, okay? And I'm going to give you the logos. It's basically, it's for IFAW, which is the International Fund for Animal Welfare, okay? They're based out of Yarmouth. That's why I picked them. So your objective is to take the content I give you, right, and design a rack card. You have to use all of the copy I give you. You do not have to use all of the images. I think I said you had to use 4 images, all right? And so what you're going to start doing off the top is you're going to start with your visual research, all right? But before we do that, I just wanted to show you kind of overall where everything is. So we're back in our InDesign 1, all right? And here are your requirements, okay? So a minimum of 5 pieces of visual research, 6 thumbnail sets, which means 12 drawings total, okay? 1 final drawn comp. The size is 4 by 9, just like it was for the recreation. There's 2 pages to your document. You have to use all of the copy provided. You have to use at least 4 of the images provided. Number 8 says you can create artwork. So what I mean by that is this is basically the same thing that happens when you have a client, or I have a client. All right, the client says, okay, listen, I need a rack card design. All right, cool. Here's what I want to have on it, okay? You have my images. Yep. You've got my logo. Yep. Get to it, all right? And you've got to come up with, or I've got to come up with, a creative solution for that particular problem. How I lay out the text is up to me. How I use the image is up to me, okay? I might decide, if I was designing it for IFAW, that maybe on the bottom of the rack card, I want something to look like an ocean. And maybe I go into Illustrator and I draw something that looks like the ocean, okay? And I create it, and I bring it into the rack card, and I use it. That is all fair game, all right? What's not fair game is going and finding other images. Does that make sense? Again, because the client provides you, these are the images I want, this is the copy I want, okay? Sometimes you can finagle it a little bit, but normally they want what they want. And then in this case, I want what I want. All right. So you do have the ability to, add vector shapes or vector drawn images or things that you feel would match. You have the idea that you could take pieces of the logo and use those as other elements in the design. Okay. What we're going to do is we're going to critique. We haven't done that yet. Hopefully Thursday we'll get a critique in before you guys are gone for a couple weeks. All right. And we're going to look at your work and we're going to massage it. And we're going to move it around, and we're going to help you develop your ideas. You've never done this before. Layout is the crux of what we do as designers, all right? And so you've never laid anything out like this before. We did an illustrated poster, but that's not this. And so your job is going to be to figure out a creative way. I don't want to just see the text center and the images on the left and on the right, and I want to see it creative, and we're going to push you to be creative. All right? And you're going to look at things to figure out ways to be creative. All right? So that's what that one means in terms of you can create your own artwork. The logo's got to be used, obviously. I have it in its colored form. You can open it up in Illustrator. I think I saved it with a white too. The only thing you can do with your client's logo is turn it to white or turn it to black. The colors that they have are the colors that stay. All right? You can't churn your client's colors. Now, IFAW has colors, and we'll talk a little bit about how to pull those colors in. But if you're going to use a blue, you're going to use IFAW's blue, okay? And you're going to start to think about things like that and how you can incorporate the logo into the design. Every rack card, as we talked about yesterday, has information throughout it, all right? But most importantly, the contact information and the identity of the company or the organization in this particular instance, okay? 1/4 inch margins, 0.125 bleeds, so that's again 1/4 and 1/8. Those are default. Include 1 character style, include 1 master page item. We will go over this, not today, I don't want to overload you, but we will go over that. Okay, that's something we can add in a little later on. That's not a huge deal, all right? Chances are most of you are going to work on your sketches in your comp today anyway, all right? So, when it comes to visual research, all right, what you're going to be doing is you're going to be looking at pretty pictures. That's what visual research is. But I need you to save a minimum of 5 of them. Because when you're done with your sketches, I want you to show me your visual research, and I want to show me your sketches, and I want to see how you used it. Not just, I got 5 pictures from Mr. B. Now I'm going to go and draw what I want to draw. All right? So when you're doing your visual research, you could start off with looking at creative rack card designs, right? And you could go images, and you can use Google, you can use Behance, you can use Pinterest, you can use Dribbble, which is a website you probably haven't been to yet. It has 3 Bs. It's another design site, okay? So I'm just doing Google just to make it simple for now. But what you're looking at is you might pick on this particular piece, and you might say, oh, you know what? I really like how they use the triangles here. I think I could use that in my design. And you're just simply going to grab it. It doesn't need to be high resolution because that's not that big of a deal, okay? So you're just going to grab that image because you're looking at it specifically. Let me just say this right off the top. This is not, I'm going to copy that layout exactly. That's not what this is, all right? This is, I like how they use those triangles. I think that would be kind of cool, all right? I'm going to try that in a sketch. You might click down through and be like, oh, you know what? I like this. I like the idea. This is more organic than the sharp triangles. All right? I'm going to use that. Plus, it's blue, and I like how they laid out the information. All right? Now, oh, this one's kind of cool, too. Look at that. That's cool. All right? And, again, it's not just that it's cool. It's that I like, and I don't think it would work with IFAW, because IFAW is about animals and nature, and it's very organic. But you see these triangles? They're these boxes they put in there? That looks really cool. I don't think it would work with IFAW, but I like the wave of it, okay? Now, within your visual research, you do not have to just look at rack card designs, okay? You can look at other layouts. So I might look at creative flyer, not card design. That's going to confuse Google, okay? I might look at flyers, all right? I might look at this and be like, well, that's really cool. But, again, does it fit my IFAW feel? Not sure. All right. That I really like. I like the translucency of the boxes. I like how they sort of use the color. That's really cool. So I grabbed that. You notice how quickly grabbing 5 of them is going to be? So I'm saying 5. You could grab more. As long as you have 5, I'll be happy. But normally when I do this, I'm somewhere between the range of 5 and 10. Okay? But the more, so I could look at rack cards. I could look at flyers. I could look at rack cards. I could look at poster designs. Quite frankly, you could look at anything that is a layout because that's what you're doing. All you're doing is a layout in a specific shape. Jordan, you paying attention?
Not at all.
Let's go. So that specific shape, okay? So any layout. Posters, you could look at posters, all right? And you could look, and posters are a little different because some of them are a little wacky, but you can look at how they use different artwork. Like, I love this. And what I like about this, the artwork's cool, but I like the distressed look. See that? Okay? And we'll talk about how to create that too, because the thing about it is you've got to remember, unless it's basic shapes, and yes, there's a pencil tool in InDesign, you are not drawing stuff in InDesign. You are using your friend Illustrator to create it, and then you bring it into InDesign by file placing it. Okay? There's, like I said, yes, if you need a circle, you create a circle in InDesign. You need a square, you create a square in InDesign. You need a shape that you really want to draw, you can use it in Illustrator. There is a pen tool in InDesign, so if you want an interesting, different shape that you don't want to go in Illustrator, fine, those types of things are good. But if you're drawing something that is an actual illustration, over to Illustrator, okay? And then you'll save it, and you'll import it, you'll place it into InDesign, all right? So your visual research isn't just limited to rack card designs. It's any type of layout you can think of. Probably good to start with a couple of rack card designs to give you an idea of the general shape and fit, all right? But overall, any layout will work, all right? And you're going to look at the layout and be like, you saw how I did it. I like this piece. I like that. I like how they laid out the type. That's what you're looking to do. Because you can't do this. Here's a rack card. I've never looked at rack cards. I've never looked at layout. I'm doing a layout. It doesn't work that way. I'm a professional. It doesn't work that way for me. Every time I start with visual research. All right? More importantly for me, I look at what's current right now. What are people doing?
This is related, but like semi-related, kind of. What would the job name for this be? Like,
this is a graphic designer. So, and I've done a ton of rack cards for people. Okay, they're really popular because they're cheaper to print than a brochure is. All right. So that's your first step, your visual research. Once you pull down, your minimum of 5 images in visual research, then you're going to do your sketches. All right? We've done this one before. But just to go over it, okay? And if you ever need help, it's under here, under the About, under the Resources. There's sketches and comps, okay? Thumbnail sketches you're going to do in your book, in your sketchbook. They're quick. They're small, all right? They're going to be this. It's very important that they're the same shape, okay? Don't draw your thumbnails as squares. Does that make sense? Your design is not a square. Your design is this shape. A little smaller, but this shape, okay? So it doesn't make sense to do your sketches in a square because you won't be able to take it and create the comp and then take the comp and put the design because you're not doing a square, all right? So in your sketchbook, I would draw some longer rectangles. You know, remember, it's 6 sets, so 12 drawings, front, back, front, back, front, back, front, back, front, back. Sketches are quick. They're down and dirty. 30 minutes tops for sketches, okay? Down and dirty, quick drawings. I'm doing this, okay? Thumbnail drawings, form, placement, general layout, rough type. That's it, tiny, okay? Your comps, as we get going, okay? There's line weight, there's text layout, there's spacing, there's proximity, there's shading. I'm gonna want your comp to look like this. Why? How come no one's been telling me you can't see it? I didn't. Thanks.
You're welcome.
That's okay.
What were your favorites?
So when it comes to the comps, all right, I'm going to give you, so when your particular piece is approved, when your sketches are approved, you're going to come and get this from me. Examples of different sketches, all right, and different comps. This is what I'm looking for from a comp. You basically want to take this, once you get it from me, front, back, okay? Somebody's beeping me. All right? And you basically would take this and literally either scan it in, tape it to the screen, take a picture, whatever. It would be like if you didn't have a computer and you were doing the layout. That's what this should look like. All right? And the reason we do this, the main reason we do this, Jordan, stop, is so that we can make sure we break down all of our ideas so that when you get to the computer, that's the easy part. The hard part is coming up with your ideas as a sketch, picking the sketch, and then comping it. Once this is done, you should know I can get right to the computer and I'm going to follow this as my plan. All right? That's what you should be able to do. So this is really where all the thought process and all of the thinking goes, is into your comp. Okay? So that's the important, really, really important part. Then you get to the computer and then you can start putting it together. All right? So that's really the important part. So we're going to do our visual research, then your sketches. You're going to show me your sketches. You're going to show me your visual research. I want to see integration. I don't just want to see a bunch of pictures that you didn't use. I approve your sketches. All right? Then you get one of these and you go to do your comp. Okay? Sketches, there's no erasing. There's just go, go, go. The comp, you know, you might need to erase. You might need to go. I have a bunch of these printed. You can always grab another one if you need one. There it is. You are not fun today, Smartboard. Did it stop recording? Is it still recording? Still recording. Okay. So that's that. All right. I don't want to overload you with anything else for today. Later on, we'll go over some more tips and tricks in InDesign to kind of help you out. All right. But for now, it's visual research and sketches. Go.